Welcome to Pixelated Therapy, where we like to take the subjects of psychology and gaming and show how the two work together exclusively. We're going to continue our discussion of the fear of missing out, and you may ask, why is it important that we discuss FOMO in videos like this? Well, one reason is that it's reported 69% of all millennials experience FOMO, and over 60% have made purchases based on the fear of missing out. Advertisers and companies are well aware of this fear of missing out, and they're going to use this information to try and sell their products to you. So basically what I'm saying is, many companies will use this as a manipulation tactic to try to drive profits. And we need to know how it works, what they'll do, and some ways that maybe we can try to avoid it. So let's look at how they're going to try to drive these profits. First of all, this isn't going to be an all-inclusive list. We're going to be focusing a lot on what game companies will do. And I'm going to be focusing a lot on what mobile companies will do, because I really think that they use a lot of these tactics, although you can take the same idea and apply this to probably many console and PC games as well. So let's start out with limited stock. You're going to see this a lot of times on websites like Amazon or eBay. You'll click on a product to see information about it, and you'll see this X number of items left. It could be 1, it could be 10, they're letting you know, hey, we have very few of these left. You might want to act now, because if you don't, and we get out of stock, who knows how long you'll have to wait until we get more in stock. Companies will do this with a limited edition version of a game that costs an exorbitant amount of money, and they're going to limit the amount that the stores can get. This tells you there's a scarcity of this product. If I want to get this product, I must act quickly. And I'll give you an example of this. Borderlands 2 released a version of the game that literally came in like this miniature vault. And stores were limited to 2 of them. I believe it cost around $200. And upon looking at all of this, I said, yeah, I've got to do this. I've got to get this. And so as I'm watching E3, I get into my truck, drive to the local GameStop, immediately put money down for it and bought it, because I wanted to be one of the 2 people in my town to be able to have this. So you can see the fear of missing out worked really well on me that day. And it's literally one of the instances where I had buyer's remorse for a video game. Because while I still have Borderlands 2, I don't have the vault anymore. I sold it off because I looked at it and went, this is just taking up too much space. But they'll use that limited stock. There are countdown timers. Do you have a deal in the game? Well, be sure you let your audience know that the product is only going to be available for a certain amount of time. It may be for a few days, it may only be for 24 hours, but you're letting them know that there's precious little time left that they can get this. And so the idea here, instead of showing scarcity, they're showing urgency. It is urgent that you buy this, because as soon as this is over, we're not offering this again. And it's not always just sales, although some of the things they will do will drive sales. Some events will have a countdown timer, and this encourages you to spend more time in the game, and the more time that you spend in the game, the more likely you are to spend money. And as time ends, there may be some purchases that'll help you meet the goal of getting to the finish line. There's the show and tell method, and this can be seen in games where you show off gameplay of a character that can only be played through a purchase or by chance. And by chance, what I mean is they'll have something similar to a loot box, although they won't call it that. And you have this minuscule percentage of a chance, we'll just say 2% of a chance, of actually getting this character. And even then, if you reach that 2%, you have an even more minuscule chance of actually getting that character compared to some other characters that you may have. But what they'll do is they'll show a video on something like YouTube, or maybe do a live stream on Twitch, showcasing any and all of the powers this character has. Some companies will even give you a 24 to 48 hour trial where anyone can play as the character for at least a day or two. They'll also use marketing calendars. Mobile games will often use a monthly calendar to promote a monthly event they have. This works very similar to the countdown timer in that it reminds you of the fact that certain elements of the game are only going to be available for a certain amount of time. And so again, there's that idea of urgency that is created. They will also use the idea of exclusivity, and some promotions will allow you to play as certain characters as long as you pay for a subscription plan. And not only that, but there are other benefits that are offered through this plan. Hey, you want this item that's going to help you through this event? Maybe it'll double the speed of your being able to get through it. Here you go. But you have to have this exclusive plan to get this free item. And on top of that, the characters that are available through these plans are usually extremely strong. After all, if I'm going to pay a monthly fee to play as a character, the character better be worth it, because we're talking about $10 to $15 a month to play as a character, and the moment I stop paying that money, I stop being able to use that character. And so there's this exclusivity. Powerful character helps me make it through the things I need to make it through a lot faster, but it's going to take a bit of money on my end to pay for that. And these are just a few ways, 5 ways that companies are going to do this. And a lot of these, again, I'm trying to focus on what a lot of these gaming companies will do. But now that we know how they're going to try to use FOMO to drive a profit, how can we fight against it? And I've got 3 reasons. And these will help with the fear of missing out period. And I think they're going to help us. And notice I said us, I didn't say help you, help us in dealing with this. First of all, accept yourself. Accept the fact that you're going to miss out on many things in this life. It could be you're going to miss out on events that happen in the lives of your friends. You're going to miss out on certain things that they get to experience. You're going to miss out on a number of different things. When it comes to these games, you're going to miss out on certain characters. You're going to miss out on certain skins. You're going to miss out in other in-game items. And so when you come to accept this fact, it makes it less likely that you're going to spend money. Why? If I've learned to accept myself and to accept the fact that I will miss out on certain things, then there's no need to accept the idea of spending money. Spend time disconnected. Spend time away from these games. And I know we want to be the best. We want to have the best characters. We want to do the grind to get the best of what the game has to offer. But if I come to accept that I'm going to miss out on certain things, it becomes easier and easier for me to spend time disconnected from it. And so the more time that we spend away from social media, the more time we spend away from these games, the more time that we spend away and spend disconnected, the more time we come to realize that it's okay to miss out. And the more that we come to realize that it's okay to miss out, the more time we can spend away from the games. And so now I've accepted this fact. I'm spending time disconnected. What do I do with this free time? Well, focus on the now. Do something positive. And it could be any number of things. Is there a book that you've always wanted to read? Hey, you've got that opportunity to do that now. Have you ever wanted to take up painting? Hey, do that. There's so many things that this world has to offer. And if we spend all of our times in with our noses in a video game or on social media, we're actually going to miss out on what a lot of life has to offer. And so what I'm saying is, focus on doing what you're able to do. Focus on yourself. Focus on what this life has to offer. As always, I appreciate your attention, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Next video, we're going to look at a little study that I've done. I asked some members of a group that I'm part of to kind of do a Google survey on their spending habits in mobile games. And we're going to look at what that has to uh, basically look at the results of that, and then we're going to ask the question, what can we learn from this? And so I hope that you guys are having a great day. Love one another. God bless you all. And as always, game in good health.